This is a niche community development program where we look at areas of concerns as they happen in our community, society, and Nigeria as a country. My name is Henry Igwebike. And on this program, of course, we'll be taking a look at the Light Up Ndokwa campaign that has been ongoing. But most importantly, we'll be taking a look at the Kwale Free Trade Zone, which is, of course, the biggest thing happening right now in Kwale and the Delta State, Nigeria. And to do that with me, I have a very interesting guests right here to do talking and, of course, have a conversation. We have Stanley Ado. He is from Delta State and the president of the Light Up Ndokwa campaign. And equally, we have Moses Onyego, Delta State. Of course, that's where he is reaching us from. And we equally have Barrister Vanso Feli, who is reaching us from Toronto in Canada. And the Comrade Endurance Eurose, equally reaching us from Delta State. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for giving us your time. We truly do appreciate you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So just before we get talking on everything that we have today, let's maybe take a look at the Kwale Free Trade Zone, which of course holds a great promise for catalyzing economic development in Ndokwa community. But its success hinges not on land allocation or custom setups alone. The foundation of any thriving industry, you will agree with me, or commercial hub, is reliable on power infrastructure, without which the zone risks becoming a hollow project. Persistent blackouts and the lack of immediate independent power producer, that is the IPP capacity, demand a proactive approach. Energy solution must be integrated from the inception of the project, not treated as a secondary concern. This is not merely a technical issue, it is a matter of economic and urgent viability and a concern. Now, let's get talking on these and more. And I'd love to start with the president of the Light Up Ndokwa campaign, and Comrade Stanley. And please, can you just help us? How has it been thus far with the Light Up Ndokwa campaign, just before we get into other interesting matters?
Well, thank you very much. So far, so good. The Light Up Ndokwa Association, the campaign, has been going places. Recently, we went to Bracket family in Abuja because we've been on this, and truly want to appreciate Enterprise TV for all they've been doing for us, trying to make our voices heard to far and wide. But we decided to go internationally so that the international community will also look into the matter and see a way whereby our campaign can be looked into, our cries heard, and the project, the IPP, is given onto us. So I think we are moving forward in a nutshell. We're moving forward. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so very much. Now, on to you, Comrade Moses. You were part of those that made a visit to the Brekete family. And although the president had talked to us about the mission and the vision of getting yourself into that medium, but can you just help us fleshing out what went down there, the significance of what you think would come out from that visit that you made at the station, that is Brekete family? Comrade Moses, can you hear me? Comrade Moses, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right, beautiful. So did you get the question? Yeah.
So on the issue of the... Come again.
Yes, I said, did you get the question?
Can you come again, please?
Yeah, so my question is this. You were
come again so I can pick the question.
So my question is this. You were one amongst those that made of course, a presence at the Brekete family medium just to voice out what the intentions are for the Light Up Ndokwa campaign. Can you help us fleshing out how it all went down, and if that visit, you think, in your opinion, has given the dividends of why you went there in the first place?
Thank you, sir. Actually, the Light Up Ndokwa Association was in Brekete Human Rights Radio and TV station in Abuja, and our aim and objective of going to the Human Rights TV station was still in line, in tandem with our struggle for not just lighting up Ndokwa Nation, but a total overall to the negligence that Ndokwa Nation has suffered in all ramifications. So we were in Abuja, we were giving audience, and during our live session on Brekete Family, Human Rights Family Program, our House of Representative member was put on call, on a live call session, where he acknowledged to the hearing of the whole world that Ndokwa has been in darkness. He accepted that, yes, our people are one of the most peace-loving persons in the nation Nigeria. He also acknowledged the fact that we have the highest gas gathering hub in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa, and yet we don't have light or development that can measure up with what we are giving to the society. So we were on live program.
Are you still there? All right, so while we'll get Moses to talk to us, I guess communication is an issue there. Let me just go straight to Barrister Vance Ofeli. Of course, you were not there at the Brekete family medium to further the campaign and the voice to why electricity is very so crucial. But your overview, what do you think? Do you think it will give the dividends? Do you think the people responsible would listen, knowing that the message is not just personal, one person to another, but it is going beyond, you know, what might possibly give rise to the results? Do you see the end? Do you see light at the end of the tunnel thus far?
Very well. What is important, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
What is important is that the conversation is ongoing. It's not left unattended to. Okay, that's what is important. And on that day, coincidentally, the particular day that the members of the Light Up Ndokwa Association went to Brekete family was the same day that the Kwale Free Trade Zone, okay, was commissioned or inaugurated. So you can see that that whole day, the next day, and the days after, conversation in Delta State was on Ndokwa land. And that's because Ndokwa has been so neglected for such a time that is unacceptable. Okay, so it is my belief that the gathering that we had at the Brekete family is one that is critical and important because it raised a lot of questions, and our representatives were called to account. Nedimoku, who represents Delta North, was called, though he didn't take the call. The call didn't go through. Then Nandezdeshi, who represent Ndokwa federal constituency, was also called, and there was conversation between the Human Rights Radio, the Light Up Ndokwa Association ESCO members, and the lawmaker. And it was one. And This is what we ought to do as Nigerians to make sure we hold our leaders accountable. And he has responded to the call to ensure that we have the IPP project in place. Okay? Whilst that was going on, in Kwale, the Kwale Free Trade Zone issue was ongoing too. And in that place, even though they have their own ideology as how they want things done, but we in Ndokwa, we believe that we need power supply even before you talk about a Kwale Free Trade Zone. Because when you put up a Kwale Free Trade Zone without electricity, it's going to become a moribund and a project that may not pass the test of time. Because you cannot put such kind of humongous project there, wherein you are calling the entire world to come and invest, because you now have a business hub. You are building a free trade zone, and then that free trade zone is going to become a business hub that will serve that whole axis and beyond. And then what you are doing is you're creating awareness. You're asking people to come. But one thing I know about investors is that if you build a free trade zone and you have no power supply, or your plan or the project on power have been long suspended, the IPP have been long suspended, and you are calling the world to a free trade zone, you won't get it right that way. Because power is important. Yes, it's power that will, bring energy to the free trade zone. And once there's energy in the free trade zone, investors will come and invest in that free trade zone. And what that will do is that it will now create employment in that region. Okay? Those who are into transportation, their business will expand, because as you have influx of people into the free trade zone, those people need to move from one location to the other. Then the issue of security. What we have done at the Berekete family, not like we planned it to coincide with the event, but that it is providence that made it so. We use that day to remind them that it is power first, okay? And then that you cannot have a free trade zone that you are not talking about power. Because the state ought to have taken over the IPP project by now, because the state even have its own independent rural electrification program. And I did an advocacy sometime on countermeasure here that since the state already have an existing one, the state can bring the IPP for the Ndokwa land into that program and serve it, because now there's adjustment in legislation. Okay, the Constitution have given the room for states to not generate and distribute power. So that is the reason we have to key into it. Delta State government need to key into it and do the needful. Even when we're talking about insecurity in Delta and the rest of that, when you have constant power supply, it's difficult for people to come in and do criminal activities in an area, because when everywhere is lit up, both in the day and in the night, people will be engaged. Okay, artisans will be engaged. Those who have learned one trade or the other will have power to deploy them. Then the whole place will be brightened. Anybody that wants to perform any criminal activity will be seen. And so we are not against the Kwale Free Trade Zone. In fact, it is our birthright. We acknowledge it. We thank the Delta State government for that feat. But we're saying that they should not forget that energy is much more an important resource than if you have constant power supply in Kwale, and people start to do business. People can come together and create a free trade zone. Individuals, if there's power supply, individuals can come together and create a free trade zone. People can do it as long as there's power. So that tells you that power is much more important than any other program that has been cited in Ndokwa land. And so we must, as a matter of necessity, accentuate that ideology vis-a-vis the Kwale Free Trade Zone.
To get to you, Comrade Endurance, at this point, I had the opportunity of listening to the response by your representative, that is Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi. When the petite protest, the Light Up Ndokwa protest held in Abuja, and he said that nothing is instant, that everything is a process, that the IPP would be done with process, right? That the people should allow the state and the federal know how to sit this together. So do you think that the Light Up Ndokwa is maybe moving too fast, faster than the state government would love, so as they can make this possible? Comrade Endurance, can you hear me? Are you there, Comrade Endurance?
Yes, I'm listening. Sorry, I'm actually in the office doing one or two things.
Yes.
So,
but did you get my question?
Free trade zone. Okay, come again.
Yes, so my question is this. I said I had the opportunity of listening to the response by your representative, Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi, on the protest that held in Abuja concerning the Light Up Ndokwa protest and all that, the campaign rather. And he said that the people in charge of bringing up this campaign should give the state government, Delta state government, some time, some time to work it out with the federal government. Now, my question is, do you think the Light Up Ndokwa campaign is moving faster than the state government would have anticipated?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me. Yes, it is moving, and we are determined to push the campaign further as much as we can, in the best of our abilities, to create the awareness and to let people know exactly what is going on. So actually, yes, we are moving faster than the thought.
Let's get to Comrade Stanley at this point. Now let's take a look at the free trade zone. Barrister had said so much about how that it's very important that we need power before the free trade zone is viable. But at this point, don't you equally think that some leeway should be given to the state government at this point, knowing that all of these pieces are coming together, and possibly the light we all expect might just be somewhere in the corner, and maybe we should just maybe lower our temperature a bit? Do you think it's necessary at this point?
Well, looking at that, yes, like what the barrister says, power is the bedrock of any development in any society. And the free trade zone, yes, it's a good one for we Ndokwa people, because it's not just the Kwale axis alone, it's for the entire Ndokwa nation. But without power, I don't see the visibility of it. I don't see it seeing the light of day. Like what we've been campaigning for a very long time, if the state government are having an issue about the step down, or the federal government are having issue about the step down, like I said, we, the Light Up Ndokwa campaign team, have been saying long ago that we have people that are ready to invest in the step down. It's just a question for the state governor, the federal government representative, and the people that are ready to invest, which is, they call it a public-private partnership, PPP. They can all sit down on a round table and get it done, because they can just come in and start up the process of the step down without having an MOU with the state government and the federal government. The land is there. The tower line is almost close to the IPP plant. They just have to come together. Let's see a way whereby this can be achieved. And when it's done, forget about any other thing in the free trade zone. You see the development kickstart immediately. So that is just what is on ground. But till now, I don't know if maybe the state government are not ready for that meeting. If not, we've given them that point that there are some of our people in diaspora that are ready to invest in the step down. So that is on it. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you so very much. Comrade Moses, at this point, Kwale Free Trade Zone, if we would enlist it amongst many other free trade zones, we have the Lekki Free Trade Zone, the Lagos Free Trade Zone, Calabar Free Trade Zone, and many more free trade zones. And all of these free trade zones, funnily, are managed by the Nigeria Export-Processing Zones Authority and offers various incentives, such as tax holidays and so on and so forth. So don't you think the Kwale Free Trade Zone should be given a life of its own and never meddled into? Maybe the Light Up Ndokwa could just be autonomous, while the free trade zone, the Kwale Free Trade Zone, should exist on its own, such that it can, of course, have life and breathe of its own.
Thank you, sir. When you're talking about the Kwale Free Trade Zone, it's a project, like my chairman just rightly said. It's not just for Kwale, it's for the whole Ndokwa nation at large. The Light Up Ndokwa Association, their name is Light Up Ndokwa. The nomenclature is, we are called Light Up Ndokwa Association. But we are not limited to issue of just the IPP step down. We have broader issues. We are discussing on the roundtable. We are trying to bring to the roundtable a discussion of the total overhauling of the Ndokwa nation, because Ndokwa nation is giving to this nation and the world at large a chunk of our source of power in the nation, the national grid. We are putting a large percentage to the national grid when it comes to power. Contributing a large percent to the nation's economy when it comes to gas, and we're also contributing when it comes to agriculture and other areas. So when we're talking about Light Up Ndokwa Association, the mistake sometimes is limiting it only to the step down IPP. It's not, that's not just the only project we have at hand. So even the Kwale Free Trade Zone is one of the things we are agitating for, the overall development and industrialization of Ndokwa nation. So you looking at it, like what my chairman rightly said, there's no way we can be discussing about the Light Up Ndokwa without discussing the Kwale Trade Zone. But in all of this, the trade zone can function to its optimal expectations if there is no constant power supply. And that is why, and that's what brings us back of setting down the IPP. You cannot depend on from the local distribution companies. You hardly even have like us a day to run an industry. So for the Kwale Free Trade Zone to function optimally, we need the IPP to be stepped down. So that is what brings the Kwale Free Trade Zone. That's the connecting nexus between the Kwale Free Trade Zone and the Light Up Ndokwa agitation. So we in the Light Up Ndokwa, we're not only asking for the IPP, we are talking about the total and overall development, industrialization of Ndokwa nation. So that is it. Thank you.
That's great. And I just learned we have Comrade Lucky, who has just joined us from Italy. Okay, we just equally learned he has, I guess, a communication error is a problem there. But of course, once we get him, we will definitely, have him as part of our show today. Barrister, the same question I asked Moses is this. Like I did ask him, we have numerous free trade zones in Nigeria. All of these free trade zones are managed with the information I have here, are all managed by the Nigeria Export-Processing Zones Authority, right? So which means everything about power to that particular facility might be taken care of by this authority. So don't you think, like I asked Moses, that the Kwale Free Trade Zone should be given the opportunity of a life of its own, such that people within that particular place can take advantage of this without unnecessary distractions here and there?
Yeah, I understand what you are talking about. The free trade zone, there's actually a law that governs the operation of free trade zones in Nigeria. Okay? And it's an act of the National Assembly. Kwale Free Trade Zone is not going to be an exception. Okay? It falls within the ambit and the purview of that particular legislation. Okay? But you see, what we are talking about is that in areas where you have had free zone in Nigeria, all places where you have free zone, you talk about Lagos, talk about Calabar, talk about everywhere you are, there's always the effects of energy, which is very, very important. There's always the role of energy. And we are saying that since we have an existing and ongoing IPP project, okay, why don't the state government inculcate or incorporate it into its own rural electrification program and have it running while the free trade zone is being built? You understand? Because in doing that, the operation can be either way. The free trade zone can have its own independent power supply. But what we're saying is that the IPP, the capacity we're given that was approved for us, the whole of Ndokwa cannot even exhaust it. And it's going to be constant. It's a line that is constant because of the production of gas, the huge production of gas. So it's going to be a constant. And Ndokwa have the capacity to sell to any other place, any other region, and whatever it is, or to distribute to any other region. So if you are going to have a free trade zone in Kwale, there's no need, making out a separate life for the free trade zone with its own power generation. Remember, we have not even concluded about the IPP. Then your question now is suggesting that the free trade zone, they will not create another IPP for the free trade zone when we have an existing one that has reached 80% completion that can supply to the whole of Ndokwa and even give to any other region within the Delta State region. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing that was approved for us. It's a blessing that we now have a free trade zone coming up, okay? See, for some of us that are very far away, I see that as our retirement destination, because there's no way we're going to have that kind of project. That will not be in Lagos or be America or be wherever. That's our destination. So we must guard it carefully. And we do not need to build a free trade zone that you now go and start to create an independent power supply for it, to feed it. When we have an independent power supply that can feed it, feed community, and even take outside the whole of Ndokwa land. So ours is to influence government policy by making these suggestions and putting this information forward. See, because no one knows it all, even the government, even the economic team of Delta State, they don't know it all, okay? So that is why when we put these things out there, okay, it has a way of influencing whatever they are doing. They may say, these people are stupid, they are stubborn, they don't want to listen, but they are listening to what we are saying and it's influencing their decisions, okay? Nobody planned that we're going to have an outing at the Brekete Human Rights Radio in Abuja, which coincided with the free trade zone. What it means is that the cosmic administration of the universe is making things and aligning purpose for the people of Ndokwa land. I don't think there's any part of this country that have the kind of resources that Ndokwa have that have suffered as much as Ndokwa has suffered. So that is why we need to keep saying it. As we keep saying this thing, the message goes into the cosmos. Then in a way, it reawakens the spirit of those who are leading us, okay? so that they will take it serious. Because not too long ago, Delta State government spent a huge amount of money for a flyover in an area that have no population, that have no, I mean, in that area, you can count the number of cars that go into that place where you have that. And what they spend is far much more than what they could have set down for the IPP. Okay, so when we're speaking, the other day, the Azagba of Asaba was being interviewed on Arise TV, and he made a statement that though he was being political, that, you know, though Ndokwa being a little bit neglected, there's nothing like a little bit neglected. It's not like the word neglect. The word neglect, it doesn't, it's either you are neglected or not. Yeah, that's the adjective. You cannot say somebody's neglected small or is neglected, you know. It's either you are neglected or not. So he has said it already. He has said it already. So that region that have the highest production of wealth must be compensated effectively. So I do not think the free trade zone should come with a separate independent power when we already have one that can actually envelop the entire region and can give out of that.
Yes, Barrister, just a follow-up on your question before I get to endurance on this part. I made my research here and I discovered, actually, this is actually very interesting, that the Aba IPP is the first independent and integrated power utility in Nigeria. And there's something interesting here. It says the project is presently owned by the project developer and a sponsor. So the question again is it that the community of Ndokwa are maybe waiting for manna from heaven to come, or isn't it possible to have someone just like the Aba IPP, someone who is ready to say, hey, I'm going to go for this, provided for my community, just like it was done in Aba. So what exactly is the problem? Is the community waiting for the federal government to give it to them, or are they waiting to take it by themselves and make good use of it?
The federal government have given it to us already. They've given it to us. And because they've given it to us, they gave it to us at a time when it was only the federal government that could have made it work. The federal government did it up to a point, and it became an abandoned project. The right thing for it to do now is for the state to take over it and make it work. That's the right thing to do. You talk about Aba. You see why in my language we say, okay, Arugbe, you start to compare you with your junior when you are not living up to expectation. You can imagine comparing Delta with Abia. Can you imagine? We were told that Abia is one of the 9 states in the Niger Delta, the NDDC. And I asked myself, what quantum can Abia? When you mention Delta in terms of oil production and adding Ndokwa to it, Abia does not even come close at all. So, but because we are not living up to expectation, we have become okay, Arugbe. That is it. We're not living up to expectation. So our leaders must take this serious. You can imagine now, your research now says that Aba is the first IPP. Did you see that?
Yes. When
this was given to us in 2003, which is, if we have completed it, would they be calling Aba first? Aba's own only started not up to 2 years.
Yes.
Just by the new
during the days of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, actually, it was when.
So now you are reading something say Aba is first. It's first. It's going to be first because they refuse to do ours. Ours that started in 2003. Yes. So, yeah, because you didn't complete it, so now somebody else is being first because it's not working. Ours is not working. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, this is very painful and it's happening because we are all the parameters to put it to work is there. Let me yield the floor for Mr. Endurance.
All right. So, Comrade Endurance, at this point, lots of things if we begin to unveil, lots of issues there and here, it will be very complex, for us. But for the average Ndokwa man at this point, who wants to run his business, who wants to create, who wants to employ people, who wants to take advantage of the peaceful coexistence in the community and do something for themselves, what do you think at this point, just before the IPP, comes on board? What do you think would be the most reliable alternative for the average entrepreneur in Ndokwa community?
Well, if you're talking about alternative, people have already resolved to using solar and our usual generator. That's what people have been using. But let me say this. The issue at stake is incompetence on the part of those in leadership.
So when you say those in leadership, who are we talking about here? Because it's very important that when we cherry pick, we call names such that...
From the deputy governor we are talking about from the deputy governor to the House of Assembly to the local government chairman and all of them that are involved. Because this is a grassroots issue. It is expected that the leaders form a team from the local government chairman to National Assembly. I'm talking about even the senator representing Delta North. They are supposed to sit down as a team and come up with a solution and let the federal government and state government know that, wow, this is exactly what we want, and this is very important for our people to develop. But somehow, they don't want to understand that power is the basic, is the foundation for development. Because the way and manner they are handling this light issue shows that they don't even, because these are a bunch of people that have never been in business, they have not done anything with their lives. They just wake up one day and boom, they are in power. So they don't even know what to do with their power. They don't know, because if they know, they should know that once you provide the electricity, every other thing, every other thing take off from there. Power is the foundation for every development. All economic activities depend on electricity. The standard of living of everybody depends on electricity. So for them not to give priority to this electricity is a major concern to everybody. You see? So I believe that the bunch of people that call themselves leaders actually don't know why they are there. They don't have the will to look into this matter and solve a problem. Let me talk about this free trade zone. Don't forget, 9 years ago when Okowa started this industrial park or whatever in Kwale, and they spend huge amount of money going to China, they want to bring investors. My brother, you and I know that investors are always searching for where they can invest that is conducive for them, that production is cheaper so that they can make profit. So they're coming, they want to do whatever. I said it that time that these people are just joking with us. And 8 years after, they have come with free trade zone. Free trade zone without any... My brother, look at when you visit the free trade zone, if you are a human being that is an investor, can you go and invest your money in such place? Where are you going to start from? You are going to provide your electricity, you are going to provide everything for yourself? No, they are not serious. Let me put it point blank here. The government of the day, they are not just serious about Ndokwa. I can tell you right now that whatever they are doing is just to create attention and, window dress development, make it look as if they are working or they have Ndokwa at heart. Nothing is happening there. I can bet you that in 4 years' time, that thing will remain like that. Nothing is going to happen there. All these things they are doing, they can deceive whatever they want to deceive. But I can't see any seriousness in what they are doing. Because before you even come to say you want to launch that place, there's supposed to be some simple development that investors will say, wow, these people are serious. There's no road there, no electricity, nothing, just push. And you say you are opening a free trade zone. Is that free trade zone in Nigeria? If you have been to Lagos free trade zone, the place was mapped out, roads were constructed, and people started investing. That is why Dangote went there, because everything was laid down.
Yeah.
incentives were provided and all that. But what are we having there? Just a show that they want to do something, make everybody believe at least they have remembered Ndokwa for free trade zone, but there's no seriousness. If this government is serious, the first thing they will do is to step down IPP, grade the road in that free trade zone, make the place look ready for investors to use. There's no such thing. I can't say anything serious about what they are doing. So for me, I don't believe they are serious about the free trade zone. I just look at it as window dressing and to make people feel they are doing something. So we keep talking about it. We keep shouting until we begin to see something meaningful because we are tired. Let me remind you all that the promises have been there for too long, and we, the Ndokwa people, we are really tired of empty promises. We have a lot of projects, a lot of contracts that was awarded in the name of Ndokwa that never saw the light of the day. So this is not the first time. Above Polytechnic was approved. To date, nothing has been done. Even while they are upgrading other polytechnics to universities, Above Polytechnic cannot even have, in fact, nothing whatsoever has been done since the creation of Above Polytechnic. And what are Ndokwa people doing? We are happy that the government is doing well for us. Our people keep saying Okowa has done well for Ndokwa. It beats my imagination. The kind of people, apart from the government, we the people of Ndokwa too, we are the major problem. Because I can't imagine why somebody in his right sense will say Okowa has done anything for Ndokwa. After giving university to other ethnic nationalities, he gave us nothing. Not even road, nothing. Then they keep praising them. Once they give them any little thing, they will shout. Now they are shouting that they are giving them free trade zone. What is there in the free trade zone? I can bet you in the next 4 or 5 years, that place will remain like that. No seriousness from our leaders, no seriousness from the people. We keep talking about the leader. I think the major problem is the people. Because it's the same our people that go to these people to praise them, to collect money from them and say all kinds of rubbish. Then those of us that are saying that the right thing should be done, we are not the enemy of Ndokwa. So I don't believe anything. All this, we are just discussing all these things. But until we begin to see meaningful development, see signs of seriousness, I cannot take all this people for serious for anything. I can't even imagine that they are doing anything because I can't see anything there. I can't. I drove past, I stopped over, there's nothing going on there. It's just a show, fanfare, and everybody goes home. In the next 4 years, we are going to remain in the same place. You are going to leave China where you have electricity and come and invest in a bush when there is no electricity. Come on, let us get serious for once.
Comrade Endurance, you're actually, very factual. You're realistic, with some of those facts. Of course, hardly you will see someone who would come with this nature of truth at this point, because like you did say, you called it window dressing. But I'd love to go to you, Comrade Stanley, just before we call it a quick for this conversation. Why do you think our leaders, especially people representing the community, would behave in such a manner? I heard Honorable Nnamdi stating that the deputy governor, who is a son of Ndokwa, is the first ever deputy governor in Delta State, the first from the community. So why would you think such a respected individual would want to do dirty his own community? Do you think this is conscious, or is he being bureaucratic at this point and allowing things work naturally?
Well, on that area, we are not surprised that he's acting the way he's acting, because he's only doing the line of his master, who happened to be the former governor of Delta State, Senator Ato Ifeanyi, because he planted him there. He made him the deputy governor. So whatever decision he is taking from Okowa. Okowa, like what Njoran just said, Okowa in his entire term in Delta State as governor never did anything in Ndokwa Nation. If at all he did roads, we can mention one or two. The Ase Creek Bridge, which he started, then the Governor Sharif administration completed it. Now, the deputy governor himself does not do anything without seeking advice from Senator Kowa. Even the Sopadek MD, this is the first time MD is coming to Ndokwa land. It's from Etwa, very close to Barrister Vansu Felix compound. That's where it comes from. He has never done any single project in Ndokwa nation. For over 2 years, going to 3 years now. His tenure is elapsing and from now. By next year, between now and March next year, his tenure will elapse. Another person will come in as MD of the Sopadek. Now, we don't even have any single project in Ndokwa nation. When you look at people that we call leaders, that are, I don't even know the word to classify that. That are stooge to a former governor. How do you expect things to work out in Ndokwa land? It can't, because it is only what they are being told to do. That is what they do. So I would just say we are very, very unfortunate with leaders like the deputy governor, the Sopadek MD, and even the chairman, the local government chairman. We are very, very unfortunate with leaders. We are very, very unfortunate with political leaders in Ndokwa land. So we are just trying to say, God, when will we have when will have good leaders that have the people interest at heart? Ever since these people took over office, they've never for one day call for a conference, a community roundtable discussion. This is what we've been doing for the past 2 years we've been in office. This is what we've achieved. These are the challenges we are having. If there's any way we the youths or we the community can stand up and try to reach out to those areas to make sure that they achieve what they are supposed to achieve for the communities. They have never done that. Very soon, campaign will start from next year. You see them start with all rubbish campaign promises. They will do this, they will do that. In interior villages, they will be going to interior villages. And when it comes to dividend of democracy, they'll go to those interior villages. They can't even do anything to that effect. So, my dear brother, we are very, very unfortunate with bad leaders in this Ndokwa nation. Thank you.
Yeah, very well said. Comrade Moses, you know, it's often said that we are a reflection, the society is a reflection of the leaders that they have. I do not know if you would dispute this, but knowing that 2027 is round about the corner, how do you think the Ndokwa community can safeguard this? Like Comrade Stanley did say, how is it possible that the community would, of course, you know, nail it the way it should be, such that your representatives are people who understand the plight of the people and know where and how to go about solving the problems of the community?
Okay, thank you. Like what my leader just said right now, when we talk about leadership, leadership goes a long way to bring development. Because a true leader is someone who has the interest of his or her followers at heart. Now, like you said, 2026 by the corner. In a few months' time, we start hearing jingles of different campaign promises and the rest. And what we are also doing in Light Up Ndokwa is not just the agitation. We are also bringing to the table political emancipation of the mind of the general Ndokwa citizen, because we want to change that mindset that yes, leaders just believe once it's 4 years time, they come with campaign promises, they come with peanuts, bags of rice, money, vote buying and the rest. You find your way to the position of the office, then after the election, you abandon the people. In the next 4 years, you are back again with same promises. What they do or what they are used to doing is when it is few months to electioneering period, you now see them coming up with different projects at different places whereby these projects are projects that will elapse beyond the electioneering period. So they will now come with promises like, if you want me to complete this project I've started, please vote for me for a second tenure, for me to come in and complete this project. And we have already got all these antics. So what we are telling you is, anybody that wants us or anything that wants us to vote them back to power come 2027 should do something meaningful, not a promise. Don't come and promise us after you winning the second tenure, you're going to do this. No, do it now. You still have a good time frame. A year is enough for any meaningful project in any area. They have the finance, they have the land. We are not in a flood-prone area, apart from our brothers in the Ndokwa East. But we still have a good chunk of land in Ndokwa West and Ndokwani, where we can build industries, facilities, and prove to the people of Ndokwa Nation that, yes, you really have us at heart. So waiting till 2027 to come with your promises again, it's not going to work out. It's not business as usual. Because the Ndokwa man has awakened to the fact that, yes, it's either you are doing it or we'll put you out. We are not after you coming to give us promises of what you will not achieve. Telling us, vote for me and I will do this for you. No, do it now. So any political class or elite that wants the vote and support of the Ndokwa people should start it now. This is still 2025. We have between now and 2026 a whole year to actualize any meaningful project that will win the hearts of the Ndokwa Nation to support any political elite. So any leader that is waiting for 2027 to come back with their usual gimmicks of vote buying and cajoling the voters to vote for them or through suppression of voters' rights, they are not going to have it as business as usual, because the Ndokwa man has woken up and we are ready to take the bull by the horn. We are ready to bell the cat and change the narratives. And what's that narratives? No developmental projects, there are not visible projects or visible plans on ground of what you've done in your first tenure. You are not going back. Even as the governor, we know Ndokwa Nation is not the only place that votes for the governor or the deputy governor. But I can make it bold to say at this point that Ndokwa Nation had the highest quota of population of voters in the last election that voted massively for the Sheriff of Oborori administration. Among the whole ethnicity in Delta State, Ndokwa Nation gave Sheriff of Oborori the highest vote, even more than his own community. The Okwe and the Robo, where he came from. We in Ndokwa gave PDP a block vote. But we are saying this time around, it's either you are doing things that are visible, or we will tell our people, we have come to that political emancipation and awakening, that it's either you are working or you'll be booted out. Whether you are the governor, whether you are the House of Rep, the senator, the local government chairman, or the House of Assembly, State House of Assembly, whoever you are, if you want the support of the Ndokwa man, then get to work. We want to see proofs that, yes, you really have us at heart, not waiting for 2027. So anyone that is waiting for 2027, we're also waiting for them. Our people have awakened and we are ready to boot them out of office. So they should not think it's business as usual, where they will be coming with peanuts for vote buying. We are saying no to vote buying, no to rigging of elections, and anyone that's having that at the back of their mind should be ready for Ndokwa Nation. The Ndokwa youth, the Ndokwa women, the Ndokwa adults are saying no. We have come to change that ideology, and that is one thing they should take home, that it's not business as usual in Ndokwa land. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Comrade Moses. It's not business as usual. Barrister Ivan Sofeli, my last question to you. Bishop Kuka once said that Nigeria is a country where people with no leadership dexterity govern those with so much intelligence. And little wonder you have all of the shenanigans we see today, not just in our remote communities, but across Nigeria in its entirety. How is it possible for us to get people like you and many more to get onto the driver's seat and lead the community such that we won't have to come back to having all of these discussions because we have the wrong people at the seat of authority? Is it ever possible to have you join the race and maybe correct all of these things once and for all?
It is possible. It is possible to have intellectuals. I mean, not just me, a host of other persons like mine take over the mantle of leadership, especially in Ndokwa land. You know, Bishop Coker was right when he said that, and we've seen it all the time, how the rig elections, illiterates will emerge as leaders, while professors will be the one who will count the votes for the illiterates and submit to INEC. Tell me which politician, how many of them have qualification? Okay. There are people who dropped out from school and the rest of that and come to live criminally. And we keep hoping against hope that someday they will get it right, they will do the right thing. They will never do the right thing. They will never do it. As long as they are there without conscience. You know, I was talking to you about, the other day, I was talking to you about the Kwale General Hospital, where if you want to give birth, you have to bring candle. A woman will give birth with candle and the rest of that. Since 2 days ago, I made that broadcasting today. I've received a total of 29 calls from friends, acquaintances, and enemies. You understand? Somebody even told me, you know, sent me a message and say, we were born with ukweka and without gloves. That's what they told me. You know what they call ukweka? Ukweka is this lantern that you use, kerosene lantern. The one that is exposed, I have no glass. Yeah, and all that. A lot of people have accepted what is going on in Ndokwa land as the norm. And you see, my greatest fear was accentuated by endurance. I didn't want to go there because I wanted to give them a benefit of the doubt. My greatest fear, as I speak to you right now, is that the Kwale Free Trade Zone should not go the IPP way. Because it has all the conditions, all the parameters to reach abandonment, just like the IPP. I didn't want to say it because I just wanted to see if this, but it's very glaring. When someone starts to tell you that he wants to construct a house for you, and the next day you are expecting him to start from the foundation, and it starts from the roof. They have not done foundation, he's now bringing roofing sheets and other things, and it's trying to start the building from the roof. That's exactly what the zone is about. So, and that it's my earnest prayer unto God that the free trade zone will not go the IPP way. That this government should be able to correct both at the same time, because once you correct energy, you have corrected everything wrong in that community, indirectly. So this is my call to the Delta State government. And I say this with all sense of sincerity, that you see this IPP in Ndokwa land. If this government cannot give us that IPP, it will be difficult for the people of Ndokwa to support this government going forward. It will be difficult. It will be difficult because now the awareness is not what it used to be. The political market has changed. The political temperature has changed. Everything has changed. They may think that they can come and buy votes and do all that, but there will be serious resistance this time around. There will be resistance this time around. So what this government can do in its own interest is to ensure that they put this IPP to work. Put it to work. When you put it to work, it will become easier to have the free trade zone emerge. It will be easier. But when you have a free trade zone that is a bush, then you go there to speak grammar. And the deputy governor goes there to sing Ife Mama Wekwere and the rest of that. That's not the way to go. That's not the way to go, because it's not yet visible that this project is going to hit crescendo. It's not visible. So the government of the day should make it visible to us. They should give us the parameters. Let's see what they intend to put in place, and let them give us the building plan, the structural plan with landmarks, with time projections, that between now and December they are going to do the road. Between January next year, between the first quarter of next year, they are going to have the electrification. Between the first half of next year. If we don't have something like that, there's no hope in sight. And they don't have anything like that. They don't have anything. They just want to push it to the edge of 2027, the second half of 2027, so that they can use it to campaign for the next election. That's what I see they are doing. And this is quite unfortunate, to say the least.
Very well, quite so unfortunate. Comrade Endurance, your last thought on this matter. How do you think in 2027 Delta State would not go the way of Anambra? Anambra equally had the same issue. The governor wasn't doing as awesomely well as they expected. And they promised themselves they were going to do something great. But November 8th, he took the whole 21 local government without any for the opposition. How do you think it's possible to avert that in Delta State so you can have a credible representation of people that would walk into the desire of the community they represent?
Well,
can you hear me?
My brother, let me see. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So let me say this. We are not unaware of the plan of the government to do what they are good at doing. Because take it or leave it. Yeah, sorry. Not coming there. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like what I was saying, we are aware. We are not ignorant of their plans to rig. If you look at the political environment in Delta State today, anywhere you go is endorsement. And you keep wondering, what are these people even endorsing? Endorsing failures? Because as far as they are concerned, they are doing very, very well. And of course, money is exchanging hands. You know, they are trying to satisfy one or two people who will be pushing the narrative that they are working, even though they are doing nothing. You know, and the stories that they are working. It's coming to even a point now that you dare not say things are not going well, because they have pushed the narrative out there, and a lot of people are beginning to sing the song. They are working. Even in Delta State now, go everywhere. There is construction everywhere. Even some construction that ordinarily should take a period of 6 months and 1 year, they are stretching those projects to continue to 2026 so that it will be used for campaign. We know that. We are not stupid. We know. You understand? Then the idea of rigging and vote buying is not out of the question. We know what they will do. The question is, how many people in the Delta State are ready to say, no, we want good governance. We want the right people to be positioned in the right positions. How many of us are ready? Because we have another group. I belong to another group that we are campaigners. As you are coming to vote, you should also be ready to defend your vote. From each unit, everybody should go out there and sensitize the people. But how we are going to do that is another problem, because the problem is the people too. Our people have come to a point that they have accepted that anybody that is coming for elective position is a thief. So whatever they give to you, you take that day and satisfy yourself for that day. After that day, let them go for another 4 or 5 years, they come again and give you 5,000 or 2,000, and you still vote for them. So that is the ideology, and people have come to, you know, when something keeps happening over and over again, people tend to accept it as normal. It becomes a culture. So electoral malpractice have become a culture in Delta State, and the people who are enjoying that culture of criminality are not ready to let go. Meanwhile, the people too who are suffering the effect of a criminal government, they have accepted that is how their life has come to be. So whatever happens, they don't care. If you are tired, you find your way and go to another place and leave. So that's ourselves, but we believe that with this awareness that is coming up, a lot of things will change. It will not be business as usual. But we also have to pick up our campaign and sensitize our people for them to know that the person that is in charge of your money, his character is important, his knowledge is very important, and his awareness is also very, very important. So the character and competence issue have to be brought to bear to people to understand that this is the problem. Because the problem we have is having the wrong people leading us. If we have the right people, we won't have too much problem.
Comrade Endurance, everything you've said is straight to the point and it's what it is. But the truth still remains, ladies and gentlemen, that no serious investor, I say it again, no serious investor will commit a dime to a zone where electricity is unstable. Key industries such as warehousing, agro-processing, cold storage, light manufacturing, and ICT rely on uninterrupted power. Without it, operating costs soars, efficiency plummets, and the zone's appeal evaporates. Road and customs infrastructure alone do not attract long-term economic players. If power issues are not resolved, the Kwale Free Trade Zone could become yet another underutilized state project, wasting resources and missing vital job creation opportunities. That is the fact, and that is what we stand for. Thank you so very much, comrades, for being here. We truly do appreciate you all. Barrister Vance Ufele, Stanley, Ado, Comrade Moses, and Comrade Jones. Thank you all.